Don't mind the ducks in the background. I actually tried to make this little video a couple times. So I walk out to the greenhouse and I'm greeted by a flock of ducks shredding everything in my greenhouse. So, really fun morning. So, hello everybody. Hope you guys are doing absolutely amazing. And you already know what this video is about. These are the seeds, now going into seedlings, of the cross I made between my peach apple cactus and my kiwi apple cactus. And I think this is the second day, day 2 since I put them in the mix here, and they're already sprouting. Hopefully it's getting a good shot there, trying not to make it too shaky. There you go, you can see them sprouting. And there's not too many. If you go back and watch my video, this fruit was filled with seeds, absolute tons of seeds, very small seeds, which is interesting because the kiwi has much larger seeds. And unfortunately, after I cleaned that fruit, a lot of them were floaters, and they were just empty seed coats. So I'm guessing there was some degree of incompatibility between the kiwi and the peach, which if you look at the two cactus, they're completely different looking cactus. You know, the peach almost has zero spines, no spines, very smooth, and kiwi, you know, they just look different, you know, obviously different, you know, whatever, different genetics, okay? So yeah, and there was some incompatibility between the two. I know for a fact kiwi is a hybrid itself. Peach, I'm not sure. You know, it is so hard to suss out the species on these apple cactus because they have such a large range naturally, and you know, each one of those places had their own varieties and localities, and as I've mentioned before, they all hybridize very easily in that species, in that group. And so who really knows, you know? They're all serious. I just call them serious species because I don't know if they're hybrids themselves or what they are. And anyway, I crossed these two. A lot of people are asking why. What's the point when there's so many out there? Well, because they both have really good flavor, and not all apple cactus have really good flavor. And why apple cactus, you're asked? Because, as was mentioned in one of my comments, it's a very precocious species. They grow very fast, or at least they mature very fast, compared to some of the other calmer cactus species, which have delicious fruits, but can literally take decades, even longer, to produce, where the serious species are very fast to produce. I mean, sometimes even within a year from seed. And they have such a large range. They're very adaptable plants. They can take the cold, they can take the wet, they can take the dry. And if you find a really good tasting fruited one, it's worth growing. Not all the fruit tastes good. Some are either, I've had bitter ones. I've had super grainy, flavorless ones. You know, some are, you know, just, you know, they're not always the best fruit. So that is why I'm so curious and interested in making crosses, because, you know, a good fruited one. And anyway, I also, you know, I removed all the stamens from the female flower, which happened to be on the peach. I removed all the pollen. There was zero pollen. I actually opened the flower, made sure there was zero cross-pollination from itself, which they are self-fertile, so it would have pollinated itself. So I opened the flower a day early and removed all of the stamens on there, and made sure nothing got on the pistil, you know, so there was zero cross-pollination with itself. And I added pollen from a bilberry cactus, so whatever the species name is. It's got a crazy name, Myrtleotheus, blah. It's there. I'm not very well versed in the, you know, the proper names of everything. Anyway, the bilberry cactus, it was in full bloom, so I added that pollen first, and I also had my peach cereus, or not my peach, the kiwi cereus flowering, and added that. You know, they're different species, you know, the bilberry cactus, so I very, very much doubt any of those took, because there were so many infertile seeds, just empty seed coats that were floating when I cleaned the seed. So I have a feeling that a lot of those was incompatible. But you never know. You never know what you can get. You don't know unless you try. And as you can see, very interesting with the seeds. There are some pink ones, and there's some green ones. Very interesting, I've noticed. Got different colored little seedlings coming up. And in case you don't know, these are like dragon fruit, and that the seeds are alive. You know, that's why it's only taken 2 days for these to sprout little cactuslets. I don't know. And yeah, they were actually starting to sprout as soon as I rinsed them. That same day, with them just sitting in water to clean them, they were already starting to swell and sprout. Which they have living seeds. The little embryo in there is alive, and they do not dry out. You let them dry out, it dies. So they have to pretty much get growing right away. And here we are, day 2, and look at, they're already sprouting. And you can see it's like a little fat worm, and then there's a little slit on the top, if you can see that. And that's where the actual part that'll look like a cactus will start growing from. See that? Is it focusing? My camera's not that good. See the little slit? That's where it'll split apart, and that's where the actual plant will start growing from. Very cool the way cactus seeds sprout. But you got to plant these right away. They do not dry out at all. And even you can see all those black little specks that aren't sprouting. There's a lot of seed that's not sprouting at all. Which, like I said, tells me, you know, one of the pollens that got on there was enough to stimulate seed coat production, but not, you know, fertilize the little embryo, get an embryo to grow. So somebody, wasn't compatible, which kind of sucks. But you never know who took. The colors in here are pretty interesting. I was looking before I started filming, and there's one that's looking like it might actually be variegated. I don't know where it went. And it had yellow and pink striations on it. I'm not 100% sure where that one is. They're so tiny right now. But there's a quick little update on you guys. You know, I'm a plant geek kind of person, and that's what I do. I like to make new varieties, like new things. And if you can make a tasty fruit that's easy to grow and productive, why not? I actually grew kiwi from seed of over 15 years ago, and I had a bunch of cirrus growing in my yard back then too. Tons of all different ones from all over the place. I was trying to find a good fruited one, and they were all flowering, and we had bees back then, 15 plus years ago, bees all over the place. And I was just saving seed and planting it like crazy. And I had a giant stand of seedling cirrus plants. I mean, tons of them. And kiwi was the first to fruit, and it wasn't that big of a plant. I was very curious on it. And, it was different looking. It was a very sturdy, healthy plant, but it was different. It was a little spiny, and had beautiful maroon fruits on it, which at that time, most of them were really light pink when they were ripe, so the maroon fruit stuck out like a sore thumb. And I ended up selecting a few of those out, and kiwi was the winner. And ended up with really delicious fruits, really unique plant in that it's smaller growth habit, and pretty awesome. And a few years later, I managed to get hold of peach, and here we are years down the road, and I've got a cross, the first cross I've managed to get of peach and kiwi, because they don't flower at the same time. Kiwi flowers, around May through September, where peach flowers around September into December. So it's a winter flower, winter fruiter, where kiwi is a summer, fall fruiter. You know, kiwi's got a much longer season than peach, so they've never actually met up. So I was really excited when one of my potted cuttings on peach pushed out a flower this year, and yeah, the fruit only took about a month to ripen. They ripen really fast. Once they're pollinated, those ovals, you know, they swell in seconds, and they're ripe within a month on all of the cereus. Really fast to ripen, which is pretty cool. And so there you guys go, a little me yakking, and really excited. We got some little cactus seedlings. I'll keep you up to date on some of you are interested in these, and yeah, we'll see what we get. I'm very curious myself. I was thinking I would have thousands of seedlings compared to how many seeds there were in that little fruit, but as you can see with the seed coats there, those black dots in the middle, very few of them comparatively are sprouting, which is kind of a shame. That's alright. Alright, see you guys later. Grow food and stay curious, you know? Sometimes it takes years to get fruit from a seed, so I am a fan of grafted trees and named varieties, but you know, that doesn't mean you can't be curious and can't do your own thing, because you never know what you'll get, right? So save those seeds, buy a grafted tree, eat the fruit, and if you're curious, make some crosses and grow your own seed. You know, I am by no means an expert, but I have myself, you know, grown multiple things from seed and released them, and you know, I'm just a guy that sits out in the sun a little too much. But the heck, some of the things that I've grown and propagated have made it to out to you guys, right? So what more can you ask for? You know, the beauty plums, the kiwi cactus, you know, stuff like that. Some of my groundnut varieties I'm working on, some of the cassava varieties I'm working on. It's pretty cool when you take the time to do something like that, and you guys are interested in growing it. Pretty awesome. See you later. Love you guys. 12-minute long video. Whoever stuck around, props to you. Like and subscribe, guys. Get everybody else to like and subscribe, and I can keep doing what I'm doing and releasing these amazing plants to the world, and keep these rare and amazing plants growing, because that is what I do. You know, I collect them, I grow them, I sell the fruit, and yeah, encourage you guys to do the same. See you later. Love you. Hybrid apple cactus seedlings. Pretty cool. See what they turn out to be. You know, daddy can be a little spiny when he's younger. Mom has some really awesome flavor with very few spines and not very vigorous, but when she flowers, you know, they flower. If you've ever seen these apple cactus flower, they can be loaded. Hundreds and hundreds of flowers. And yeah, we'll see what kind of spine structure. That's what I'm very curious about. What the spine structure is going to be on these. That's I'm not entirely sure what genetics play in the structure of the spines, but very curious I am. Yeah, and look at the colors. I'm very interested in that they're coming out different colors. Look at, you got some pink ones there, you got some green ones, and I have the light on here, but without the light on, there are some that are green and there are some that are yellow. So very interesting that they're coming out different colors. And some of them seem to be a mix. And I swear I saw a striated pink and green yellow one. Very curious. We'll see. It'd be awesome if we got a variegated color one. Very, very interesting.